What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 5 of If I Had a Hammer. And today, West Ham United will be taking on Crystal Palace at home and Manchester United away. But before we get to those matches, we must go over how we've been faring in the Premier League, as well as rounding out the last few group matches of the Europa League. And I may have come across a tactical revelation, as since our last live com, we have gone undefeated in the Premier League, with our only blemish on record being a loss to Napoli in the Europa League. 7 wins out of our last 8, 5 wins in a row in the Premier League. Let's go over the tactic that I have used in these last 8 matches to give you a better idea of what I have found. And this is the formation which I used near the end of my Pentagon/Hexagon series. It is a 4-5-1 that I call the building of the wall. And it allows for the wingers to be moved from either the center of the park up into the attacking section at various wills. If the team I'm facing is more of a powerhouse like Manchester United, if it's more of a Chelsea, or if they are above us in the league, I'm dropping the wingers back into a 4-5-1 and try and congest the midfield to try and create havoc for those fast teams that try to use the long ball and can't really get past us. However, against teams that are lower than us in the Premier League, of smaller stature, I'm moving the wingers up to try and get a more attacking front to push like Payet and Moses down the byline and get the crosses in to Sacco, to Pelosi, to try and get off as many more shots and to create more attacking chances that may lead to goals. And I could go more in depth into this, but all I'm going to tell you is a control tactic with fluid team shape, and the various instructions are as follows. I want to try and get as many early crosses as possible so that Payet or Moses or Enter Valencia don't have to go all the way to the byline to cross it in. They can cross it in as soon as there are people in the box. Also want to try and exploit those flanks as well. That's why I said give it to the guys out on the wing, let them cross it in, and make the plays happen. Want to retain possession while also being more expressive, staying on your feet when you're going into tackles, playing more wide as well. Like I said, give the ball to the wingers, make the wingers do most of the work. Also having a fairly normal defensive line with a higher tempo. It's got me great results so far. I see no reason to change this up, except for when I want to move the wingers back and forth depending on the situation that I'm in. So, with that tactical display in mind, let's take a look at those last 8 matches that I've played. And the first test for this formation, we took on Liverpool at home, who were in 4th place at the time, and defeated them 2-1. Goals coming from Victor Moses, who cut inside from the wing to get that goal, as well as a cross in to Diafra Sacco, who headed it in past Simon Mignolet. Liverpool couldn't get much of anything going inside the 18-yard box. They had 24 shots taken, 9 of them only on target, and Daniel Sturridge finally broke through and got rid of the clean sheet held by Adrian in the 76th minute. Offensively, we didn't have a lot of chances ourselves. 13 shots, only 5 of them on target, but we did make it count as we continued to play out wide and force Liverpool to play themselves out wide. They were pretty much condensed near the middle, and with Antonio and Victor Moses coming up the wings, playing more wing play, we forced Liverpool out wide to break apart their compactness, and that's what eventually led to the 2 goals. Going chronologically, we then took on AZ at home and defeated them 4-1 with a hat-trick from Alberto Pelosi and Dimitri Payet getting himself on the score sheet as well. 18 shots, 8 of them on target. Not as much possession as you would have thought, but AZ actually getting on the board first in the 2nd minute as they were able to pass their way through while I still had my wingers up. So at that point in time, I decided to drop the wingers back, drop Lanzini and Payet back to the midfield. And after that is where all the magic happened. And like I said, Pelosi with a hat-trick, Payet getting a goal in the 34th minute, and we prevented AZ from getting any more real good attacking chances in the first half. They did come out strong in the second half, but they weren't able to make anything matter on net. Back in the Premier League, we took on last place Aston Villa and defeated them 2-0 with goals from Dimitri Payet and Victor Moses. Once again, the wingers making things happen. Yes, they are playing as wingers, not really as inside forwards, so I don't expect them to cut inside all that much, but they are still dangerous in front of net, and as you see today, against the last place Aston Villa, who are trying to fight out of relegation, could not do much of anything. All Aston Villa got were cards, and even though they took more shots than us, they weren't able to make anything happen. One thing of note, though, is I did start Nikisa Jelavic up front, and every time I start him or play him at the very least, he doesn't perform as well as I'd like to see him. I think it's because now that I have Sacco and Alberto Pelosi performing above average, if not to their full potential, Jelavic just doesn't seem to compare. He just doesn't seem to rate as well as Pelosi and Sacco, so I think during the January transfer window, I'm going to sell Jelavic out. We then followed that up with a 2-0 performance against a 5th place at the time Norwich City and defeated them 2-0, both goals coming within the first 20 minutes in Alberto Pelosi and Michail Antonio. 14 shots, 5 of them on target. We were able to confound Norwich so much that they had a player sent off in Ryan Bennett, getting 2 yellow cards, and once he went away, pretty much the entire attacking prowess of Norwich was stifled. They weren't able to continuously move the ball into our defensive third. And when you can't get very many attacking chances, you aren't going to get any shots on target, you're not going to get the goals, and you're going to lose matches. Fortunately for us, we were able to hold them down and come away with all 3 points. And now the only blemish in this run, we traveled to Napoli and lost 3-0, as the Neapolitan attack was just straight up disgusting. Insigne, Gabbiadini, and Marek Hamšík all with the goals for Napoli. 24 shots, 13 of them on target. Adrian had himself a day, getting 10 saves. However, offensively for us, we were only able to get 1 shot on target. They were able to stifle it with their strong defense. And I would have liked the wingers of Moses and Antonio to have a little better days, getting the ball up to Sacco, but unfortunately it was all Sacco that was taking the shots, and he just could not find the target. So, yeah, what can I say? It was a backpedal, and actually our first loss in the Europa League since the first match, which also happened to be against Napoli. We then went back into the Premier League and traveled to Vicarage Road, defeated Watford 4-2. Dimitri Payet getting himself a hat-trick with a cheeky goal from Czech Kyoto in the 16th to put the scoreline as it was on our side. Defensively, though, Diamanti and Behrami were able to sneak past our back four and slot it through. Adrian just did not have a good day, and fortunately for us, he didn't have many shots taken against him, as I felt that given more opportunities, other than the 6 that were on target for Watford, given more opportunities, Watford probably could have equalized. Adrian, like I said, did not have a good day. Defensively, we are fairly okay as well, but we need to do better against teams like Watford, who are sitting near the bottom of the table. And in the 5th and final Premier League match of this set, we defeated Leicester City 3-1 at home. Diafra Sacco getting himself a goal, and then Eder Valencia making his return in style. 2 goals in 2 minutes, absolutely astounding. 24 shots total from the team, 11 on target, majority possession. Leicester were only able to break through in the 89th minute by goal from Jamie Vardy. Only 1 shot out of the 3 on target for Leicester ended up being a goal. Defensively, we were pretty grand, but of course the efforts attacking-wise helped seal the victory for West Ham. And then finally, in a match that seemed all but a formality, after the 20th minute, we defeated Asteras Triplis 4-0 at home to help seal our advancement into the first knockout round of the Europa League. Dimitri Payet getting himself 2 goals, with Winston Reid tacking one on the 20th minute, and then another own goal by the Greek side in the 17th minute. Very unfortunate for them, being Triplis, but when you have 22 shots and 11 of them being on target taken against you, more than likely there's going to be a few goals going past. On the other side, Triplis only 7-2. There wasn't much of an attacking presence in our defensive third, and we were able to quell any sort of attack that they had coming forth. So, with that, West Ham United are officially into the knockout rounds of the Europa League. And in fact, the draw for that round is after the Crystal Palace match. So, without further ado, let's get on with that match. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I actually made an addition to the side while we were away, and he goes by the name of Ron Vlaar. Ron Vlaar, of course, the center back that originally was at Aston Villa but was cut from the squad last season, picked up some cruciate ligament damage, and just out of a whim, I decided to look at the free transfer market, mostly because center back is where I have been kind of short on depth for a time, so I wanted to see who was available, and lo and behold, Ron Vlaar was just coming off of his cruciate ligaments. I believe when I scouted him, he only had 10 days left before his injury was fully healed, so I figured, yeah, let's give him a shot. Let's throw a contract at him, see if he'll accept. And I threw $1.5 million at him for a couple of years, and he said, sure, I'd love to sign for you. And he is now my new backup center back. And to be quite honest with you, I'm only bringing him on for this short amount of time just to see if he'll do a job. And out of 2 matches so far, he's done a fairly decent job. Yes, he may be losing his speed, he may be losing most of his other stats, but if I can turn around in the January transfer window, sell him for his estimated value of £4.5 million, that would make me an absolutely happy person. Anytime you can make profits on free transfers, that's absolutely amazing. And I feel like, yes, Ron Vlaar is an okay person, an okay footballer at this stage of his career, but if he can do a job for us up until the January transfer market and I can sell him then I feel like this was good business and good money well spent. And with that in mind, let's take a look at the starting lineup we're going to have versus Crystal Palace. Adrian's going to be in net. O'Brien, Tompkins, Ogbonna, and Cresswell will be the back 4. The mid 5, yes, I'm going to be playing with the wingers pulled back for now. The mid 5 will consist of Moses, Noble, Quixote, Obiang, and Antonio. And sitting up front, the lone striker in a poacher's role, Diafra Sakho. I can only hope this tactical revolution and revelation continues on. Let's make it 6 wins out of 6. Kick off and see what happens. Corner kick, and wow, Crystal Palace within the first 3 minutes have scored. Lee Chong-yong 1-0. I can't believe this. What happened? They've had 4 corners within these first 3 minutes, 4 shots, and of course the one being on target goes into the goal. Where was the defense? That's just appalling. 14 minutes in, throw in, switching the field. Cresswell out on the left, does have options in the box, tries to find it, it's an own goal. It bounced off Dan, and West Ham get on the board by way of an own goal. Not the way it would have drawn it up, but I'll take it. We did have Sakho in the middle, but Dan was the furthest in the box. I don't think Sakho would have made it. Dan tried to clear it away, but instead goes into his own net. Crystal Palace content with going long ball forward, but once again we cut that out. Sakho gets cut out by Crystal Palace, and once again it's gone back to a midfield battle. Long balls over the top. Why haven't you cut out Balassi there, O'Brien? Balassi continuing to come through. Cleared away. Koyate finally gets it out of the box. Antonio has a bruised thigh, but a corner coming in. Tompkins, it doesn't get all the way through. Speroni cuts that out. Actually, I'm going to wait before that highlight goes through. Antonio, like I said, bruised thigh, which is never good. So Dimitri Payet's going to come in for him. And Crystal Palace doing very well with their passing, with their attacking movement, and Balassi coming forward to Shamak. It's cut out. C.Y. Lee, Punchin, Jason Punchin, another good save from Adrian, and Crystal Palace are just doing all sorts of attacking movement that my defense just cannot stop, and it's rather disappointing. Oh, we do get the ball back. Sakho to Moses. Moses being cut out to O'Brien on the wing. Gets it through to Sakho. Sakho! It bounced off the underside of the crossbar, and it's 2-1 to West Ham. After nobody really wanted possession of it, we came down. O'Brien getting it into the box. Sakho rises up, heads it off the underside of the bar, and West Ham are in the lead. Good cutout there, and now West Ham could hit on the counter. Payet using his pace to come up the left side. When he cut inside, Victor Moses taking a shot. Sakho with the ball, but he gets taken off of it, rather unfortunately. And that really is a telling stat. Crystal Palace, while only having 1 goal, they've had 11 shots, 5 of them on target. The defense just is losing Shamak, Balassi, C.Y. Lee. I really need to go into the the opposition instructions and tell them to, hey, you should probably mark these guys. So close him down, and very much so tight mark him as well. Punch-In hasn't been doing much to to warrant a closing down, but I'm going to do it anyway just in case, on the off chance that he actually does something. So I'm definitely far from pleased. Yes, we're winning 2-1, but I'm far from pleased with the overall performance. So hopefully we can get back out there in the second 45 and close it down. Finish what we started. Mark Noble getting it into the box, but cleared away. Quixote pulling it down. Several options in there. Pay it. Taken off the ball, but Obiang comes back with it, and we have to reset all the way out to O'Brien. Long balls it. Who's it going to fall to? It fell to Quixote to Pay it. Wow, 2 good saves from Speroni. Back into the box. Pay it can't get that. And Crystal Palace doing well to clear the danger. 3 minutes to go in this match. Oh, and the throw-in. The throw-in was cut out by Crystal Palace. Don't let him come through. Don't let him get an equalizer right here. Through the punch into C.Y. Lee. What a save from Adriana, and it's cleared away by Cresswell. There's 2 minutes of stoppage time on the clock. We haven't even hit the first one. Wilfred Zaha! No. Damn it. Oh, we did so well up until the end. Oh, the defense just let the ball go through, and Wilfred Zaha with the equalizer in stoppage time. And can we come down with it? Nope, that's full time. West Ham 2, Crystal Palace 2 on the backs of an own goal, which helped us out, very fortunately. But, did not do very well at all today. So with that point, that does move us up into 10th as we're going into the match versus Manchester United. But first and foremost, let's take a look at who we're going to be facing in the first knockout round of the Europa League. Alright, and here's the draw. Of course, we can draw everybody on this list except for Napoli, who were in our group. So, the teams that are in this, Ajax, Athletic, Basel, Besiktas, CSKA Moscow, Dnipro, Dortmund, Fenerbahce, Fiorentina, Gladbach, Hajduk Split, Lazio, Liverpool, Lokomotiv Moscow, Ludogorets, Lyon, Marseille, Monaco, Napoli of course, Olympiacos, Sevilla, Shakhtar, Sparta Praha, Sporting, Standard Liège, Tottenham, Trabzonspor, Victoria Pilsen, Villarreal, Vitesse, us, and Wolfsburg. So I hope you got all that. Let's take a look at who we're going to be facing in the first knockout round. Just keep drawing teams. Right there and then, we're going to be facing off against Ludogorets, and to be quite honest with you, that is going to be a very solid draw. I see us getting into the last 16 at this point. So there you go. West Ham versus Ludogorets in the last 16, or in the last 32, excuse me, and hopefully this is going to be a win, and we'll see us into the last 16. So, with that in mind, let's get into the match versus Manchester United. So we're going to be dealing with the likes of Martial, Mata, and Young, since Wayne Rooney is out through no injury, just not on the starting 11. But this is what we're going to line up with. And of course, it's going to be the 4-5-1 once again. Adrian's going to be in net. Jenkinson, Reed, Vlar, and Cresswell will be the back line. The 5 midfielders will be Valencia, Noble, Quixote, Sven Bender, and Dimitri Payet. And then this time, sitting up top, we're going to have Alberto Pelosi. At this point in time, let's see if we can make it 7 for 7 undefeated. Yes, that draw does sting, as I felt like we could have come away with a victory. But if we come away with a draw here at Old Trafford, I think that is absolutely vital. And absolutely an amazing accomplishment, only if we can do it. So let's kick off and see what happens. Oh, for God's sake. I told you guys to mark Martial, and this is what you do. You absolutely do not listen to what I say, and Martial makes it 1-0 to Manchester United. Going back to the old ways, I tell people to mark everybody, or at least mark the main guys, especially Martial, and the defensive line still loses him. Must be all that speed. Throw in from Jenkinson, Canny Fine by Enter Valencia. Getting it inside, Pelosi to nobody in particular, and that's rather disappointing. Quixote off the post somehow got the ball back to take a shot. Now both sides are very content with passing it around the midfield. We do get it back. Valencia, takes it around his man, cutting inside. He does have options in the box. He finds Dimitri Payet with a short angle shot, and Dimitri Payet has knotted the matchup at 1 apiece in the 27th minute. After some back and forth fighting in the midfield, Valencia taking around his man, finding a cross option. Payet off the volley. I thought he headed it in. Nope, with his foot. and knots it up. Of course, it's not Manchester United if they don't answer back, and it looks like it's going to come forth with an Anthony Martial goal. Some great passing and bad defense combined for that one. It's 2-1 Manchester United only after a couple minutes. And it's like you'd expect. Manchester United, why was Reed heading that backwards? 2 minutes left to go in this half, and we do have the ball playing it out of the back. Here we go, Valencia once again just charging up the right side. Gets it into Pelosi, and Pelosi knots the match up. 2 minutes left to go in this half, and it's 2-2. Ender Valencia has just been a one-man show on that right wing. He's been making everything happen for West Ham. Beautiful cross in, only able to find Pelosi. That was some great placement, and a good header in. So definitely shocking the Old Trafford crowd here as the match goes into the half 2-2, but I do still have concerns at the back. Like I said, Winston Reed has not been playing very well this match and hasn't been playing well for the last few matches. So I may look to sub him out at the next possible convenience. Aaron Cresswell not having that great of a game, but everybody from midfield up's been doing stellar. Alright, it's looking like I need to make a sub, and James Tompkins is going to come on for Winston Reed, and that is pretty much all I'm going to make. I mean, I do have Aaron Cresswell on my watch list, and Angelo Ogbonna would be the one to be subbed in for him there. So, just going to hold it off right now and just make the James Tompkins sub. Fears came true. Cresswell got a card 5 minutes later, so Ogbonna's coming on for him. It was a good cutout. Who was 11? Was that Valencia? Yeah, it was Valencia. It was a decent cutout, but Manchester United get back. Ander Herrera with a shot, picks up the rebound, and Manchester United have jumped ahead once again. Ander Herrera with the goal. His first goal of the season, too. I seem to be a magnet for those players getting their first goal of the season. It was a decent parry, but it went right to Ander Herrera, and the defense couldn't do anything about it. Neither could Adrian. Ron Vlaar missed a header. Martial comes down with it. Out to Ashley Young on the wing. Who's coming through? He is coming through, and Adrian parried into his own net. Way to be, Adrian. It was all set up by a missed header from Ron Vlaar. Getting the pass out to Adrian, or out to Ashley Young, and then Adrian parries it right into his own net. It's 4-2 Manchester United. That's looking like the game right here. We are still coming forward, though. Valencia to Pelosi. Back to Valencia. He does have options on the left side of the pitch. If he decides to cross it in, he does. Dimitri Payet trailing and makes it 4-3. We're not out of this yet. Oh, really, ref? Payet was behind Valencia. That's not offsides. Final play of the game. Final kick of the game. There it is. Full-time whistle. Manchester United 4, West Ham 2, should have been West Ham 3, but they disallowed a goal that shouldn't have been disallowed. But other than that, defensively we played very bad, very terribly. At the same time, just could not generate much in the ways of offense. Yet Dimitri Payet and Ender Valencia. Ender Valencia was outstanding on the day. Thought he would have been a one-man show. Getting those 2 assists to both Payet and Pelosi. Should have had 3 assists. But at the end of the day, we come away with a loss, no points, and we drop back down into 11th place. So while I never said the tactic was bulletproof, you have to understand I was really giddy when that 7 wins in 8 popped up on my screen, and I felt that we could have continued that on with these 2 matches versus Crystal Palace. Maybe not against Manchester United, but I thought the win versus Crystal Palace was on the cards. But we just need to dust ourselves off and continue on with this, because this does show promise, and maybe we can continue staying in the mid-table and not go back onto our losing ways. So when we come back, I think we should come back right at the end of the transfer window. So right here versus Southampton and Stoke, 2 matches just 4 days apart, and at that time we'll give a transfer roundup, who left, who's coming in, and believe me, there will be people leaving. But we'll discuss that in the next episode. So until that time, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new and you want to see more FM content. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.